Sweet dreams are made of.
Bucka. You know the deal.
Hey everybody,
This is me, though.
welcome to an episode of Can We Talk? I'm here with the usual suspect, Shayna. Eric is out on leave. You know what? We've been preparing for this for a long time. We got a very special guest in the building. Randy, what's up? He's back. He's back in the building. We missed Randy. You know what, Shayna? I mean, you and I, the Anthony and Shayna show has been happening for a long time. You know that?
Since the beginning.
I think it originated way before we met the wonderful Eric McLeod. It was commentary before a concert. Standing in line at St. Andrew's Hall. We were the only audience, but, you know, it started somewhere. With Crit, Lupe, Pac, we always had our own commentary.
Yeah, and then it was weird. Remember that time we went to, what was it, Pac? And then somebody recognized us from the Lupe concert.
Oh, they did?
Remember?
Not really.
We was drunk at the Pac concert.
Yeah,
But this guy was like, you guys were at the Lupe concert.
I barely remember that. I do remember there was one woman at the Lupe concert whose breath was not that pleasant.
Her breath was stinking so bad that even when her mouth was closed.
Yo, we were trying to rock to the music while covering our faces like this.
I
You know
almost
what I'm saying?
forgot about her. Yeah, her breath was kicking.
People thought we were about to rap something. Yeah, man, those were good times. Those were good times.
Yeah.
I remember at the Pat concert, there was these dudes behind me that thought you was my girl, and you were trying to talk to that guy. So you were trying to get in front.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Come on, man, let me get up front." Then these guys behind me were like, "Man, I'm so sorry he took your girl." And I tried to explain it, but I tried to play it off like, "Oh, you know, you know what I'm saying? I'm just here for the show, you know. She'll be mine afterwards."
Yeah, Pac was fun. I probably did something that I shouldn't have done. A guy was like, if you hold my place for me while I go to the bar, I'll buy you a beer. And I'm like, okay, cool. I drank the beer, like, not supposed to do that. But you make me feel safe.
Oh, yeah. Because what did you think it was laced or?
I didn't think anything until, just hindsight 2020. Like, I probably should not have drank that beer.
Yeah. Was it open?
It was a cup.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on, Shayna. You know better.
We made it home, didn't we?
Yeah, and you were driving.
We barely made it there.
Did I ever tell the story about when we was on the freeway and you was swerving? You was like, "Oh, it's like that Jadakiss song. You know, God got us." I'm like, somebody get me out of this car.
But here's the thing, though. Like, that happened more than once. So when you say you remember that time.
This was once. No, I distinctly remember this time.
I've always missed that one exit and then got over too late. But I probably quoted that Jadakiss at one time. Because I was trying to time the drink. But
allegedly.
Allegedly, I was trying to time the drinks right so that by the time
we got there,
we would be blasted.
I mean, it worked. we were in line already there, ready to go, ready to be set. All right, so we got a lot of topics today, man. I'm gonna get a rundown. We got the missionary, we got the Mike Duggan scandal that almost was. We got R.I.P. to George H.W. Bush, Steven Hillenburg, who created SpongeBob SquarePants, and I think your hip hop corner is gonna lead us out because we got many topics.
Oh yeah.
We got Meek Mill, we got Jay-Z on Meek Mill, we got Drake on Meek Mill, we got Big Crit, we got Tekashi 6ix9ine, we got Black Thought. Yeah, we got a show today. So let's start with the missionary. Rest in peace to John Chow, I believe his name is. So John Allen Chow went to a forbidden island, I believe in the North Sentinel.
North Sentinel Island.
To convert the natives to Christianity. Long story short, he was killed. That's pretty much cut and dry what happened.
But, I mean, you said rest in peace, but it's against the law to go there.
Yeah.
And if you do even just a little tiny bit of research on North Sentinel Island, you know that they're not to be fucked with.
Exactly.
So
it's an Eli Roth movie.
Yeah, they're not to be fucked with at all. So I don't and he put them in danger just being there.
Them?
Yes, because we are we've been vaccinated. They haven't been. Mm-hmm. So just like the stuff on he's exposing them to diseases that could possibly wipe them out. So he put them in danger just setting foot on the island.
Couldn't that be the other way around? Like they could probably have something that wipes us out.
That also.
Okay, all right. No, that is an interesting take. No, it wasn't a smart move to do this. And even looking at these pictures where this guy is smiling, I do feel bad. I really do feel bad. Like this guy, because I said it before the show. I said, man, this dude was about it for his culture, and you was like, I don't know.
I don't think that's the correct word. Like you have a superiority complex that you think that people need to talk to you.
Yeah, I think that superiority complex probably in his head was mistaken as this is God's mission. This is something that God told me to do. Or that
but
I
he's
feel.
like an adventurer. Also, he's not like a missionary. Like he's not connected to any type of like missionaries or missionary organization.
I want to know who gave this guy a pep talk that made him think, you know what, it might not be safe, but I'm gonna go anyway. Like, did someone just say, oh, I don't know about that, brother, but go with God?
But even the people that kind of brought him like to that halfway point, they're going to get in trouble because it's illegal to bother them. Like they
I
want
wonder how
to
much
be,
he paid them.
They want to be left alone, and I think that we should respect that.
Yeah, I mean,
And they've made it clear that they want to be left alone. They don't. But here's the thing: we don't know what they have on the island. We don't know if they have Christianity already. They may very well have that already.
It may be an offense to their own way of life to try to convert them.
You're absolutely right.
That might be an offense to their rules. You know, yeah, that was a strange story because Nicole was the one that told me about that. Did you hear about the missionary? I'm like, what? Oh, Anthony, please tell me you heard about it. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh my, that's well, he was for his cause. Yeah, we'll never. We can't get inside this guy's head, so we don't know what his true motive was. I would hope it was as good as he wanted it to be, but
they have tried, I think, twice to retrieve his remains, and they're like, don't fucking come over here. Like they're out there, they're with the arrows.
Yeah.
And it's well documented that they will throw arrows at helicopters, boats. If you try to get too close. Like they don't want to be bothered, and I think that we should respect that.
Yeah, that's a territory you don't want to cross. I don't know, man. I still say R.I.P. I mean, it's sad. It is sad, but I mean, he didn't know that. He didn't know. I don't know. He probably knew. He just didn't want to know. Didn't want to know what he know. Whatever sense that makes. Okay, so we got a few R.I.P. shout-outs. George H.W. Bush passing away not too long after his wife. Any thoughts or just like, eh?
I mean, he was the president one term.
Yeah.
One-term president, head of the CIA, and we know the relationship the CIA has with the black community.
Not the best relationship. Not
a
the
terroristic relationship, if we're going to be honest. The CIA is a criminal organization. We know his history with Lee Atwater, who passed away a long time ago with the whole Willie Horton dog whistle ad. He was losing. He was going to lose. And then he put out the Willie Horton ad, a racist ad that basically scared, white people into voting for him because he was like, well, knowing what we know about polls, we don't know now. But the polls had him losing, and then he ended up winning.
Advertising is a powerful thing.
Oh, yeah.
It is very powerful. Like, I remember even the time when Trump was running, there was something that was there was an ad for some energy company or something like that that was against the immigration, and then it got a lot of controversy, but it did get people talking. I do remember that. So, on a lighter note, we got Steven Hillenburg, creator of the beloved SpongeBob SquarePants that just passed away.
Now, when did SpongeBob SquarePants debut? Because I didn't get into it, but I don't want to use my age.
1999.
Okay.
Listen,
I was in high school.
It hits me in the sternum. I watched some SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, when it first started off, I'm like, oh, this character's a little wacky, but he's an optimist. SpongeBob is always an optimist. So, that hits me in the heart. I remember I went to go see the SpongeBob SquarePants movie by myself in the theater. Probably the first movie I saw by myself in the theater. Listen, man, I was a SpongeBob fan, and I enjoyed it. We're talking about the first one, not the 3D one. the one where see Randy shaking his head at me. This is why we miss you. I mean, it's the one where Woody Harrelson voiced the villain. I thought it was pretty funny. SpongeBob SquarePants has some dirty jokes too that even still to this day slap. Yeah, rest in peace, Steven Hildenberg. I know he started as a writer on Rocko's Modern Life.
I did watch that.
Yeah, and that's coming back too, a revival.
Why? I just really feel like reboots and then revivals is just like.
Well, it's a series. Well, it's a
I'm
movie.
Running out of ideas.
I was happy when they brought Hey Arnold back for that movie. Hey Arnold was my jam.
I didn't watch Hey Arnold, but I didn't want to.
Come
Like,
on.
I don't want to use my age as an excuse because
Come
I
on
did
now.
watch Recess all the way up until my senior year of high school.
Listen, you got something to say here.
Is Hey Arnold the one the kid has a football?
Yeah,
head?
the
Football
football head.
But I mean,
Didn't
Hey
watch
Arnold. Hey Arnold lived in the hood though. He was a white boy living in the hood. That's what gave him his special like powers. He doesn't have any powers, but he was relatable. You know what I mean? Yeah. Rest in peace to Steven Hildenberg.
Rest in peace.
SpongeBob SquarePants is the jam. I saw this great meme online where it was Spider-Man and SpongeBob, kind of consoling each other, like, man, I understand your pain.
Oh.
Stan Lee and Steven Hildenberg.
But he was young. What was he, 54? 50-something?
Let me look it up.
Stan Lee was in his 90s.
He's 57. He was 57 when he passed.
I really feel like if you're not 70, like you're kind of young.
Yeah, definitely so. So, Mike Duggan.
I don't know anything about I know I saw people, Facebook commentary.
Right.
People like, we knew everything about the Kwame Kilpatrick scandals and stuff like that, but we don't know
Definitely.
anything about this one. So can you provide me and the audience with some details?
Listen, so Robert Carmack, he's a Detroit auto body shop owner. He has a beef with Duggan. So Carmack, I think he had like a video billboard truck going around City Hall where it showed footage of, I guess Duggan had parked the car at somebody else's house, and then a woman had parked the car at a house, and he was like, there's more. I'm gonna debut more if Duggan doesn't fix what he's done. I forgot what the exact beef was because I'm not like too versed in politics, but I'm sure it has something to do with getting rid of like small businesses or something like that Carmack had a problem with. He's like, if Duggan don't fix this, I'm gonna debut more. And I remember it was I forgot what day it was, but it was some day this week where he was gonna show the whole full video, and I don't know what it was gonna be. It probably would have shown Duggan with a woman or something like that.
Isn't it
I don't,
blackmail?
yeah, and I don't even know if it exists, to be honest with you. But instead, they gave him like a press conference, and the guy didn't show the video. He instead said, I think they offered to bribe me, and Duggan is a bad man, stuff like that. Anyway, it was a pump fake. Is basically what it was. He didn't show anything. So now I think Duggan is asking state police to investigate the businessman's actions. So
That sounds illegal.
him asking the state police?
The whole do what I say, I'm going to release information.
Yeah, like he had like a private eye follow Duggan, allegedly. Yeah, man.
I need that kind of money.
Yeah, it's
I need that kind of money and I need that kind of time.
I'm gonna call this the scandal that almost was. I don't know where this is gonna lead to, but this is like a full-length Serial episode in real time. Speaking of Serial, you ever listen to This American Life?
I have not. You told me to listen. What was that you sent me?
S-Town.
S-Town.
S-Town is good, but that's
And you are literally like the third person to recommend that specific podcast to me.
it starts out as something and then turns into something else.
Okay.
I feel like with This American Life, I was always kind of skeptical of listening to it. I mean, Ira Glass seems like a cool dude who created the show, but it seemed kind of hipsterish to me. But when I listen to it, it's a little hipsterish, but it's the hipsterish that I like. Like, I like the stories. Like, they got like 3 stories taped together that lead to one single theme.
A lot of people are kind of annoyed with the constant flooding of podcasts.
Yeah.
But I actually enjoy it because for a long time, investigative journalism was dead.
Yeah.
It was dead, and I kind of think it died back sometime back in the 90s. But now people are bringing it back. They're doing thorough investigations, and they're recording themselves doing investigations for more constructive subject matters. So I'm really enjoying the whole like onset of podcasts.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing when you can get your voice heard, even if you don't, even if it's not heard by a lot of people, you're still getting your voice heard. That's why there's a gift and a curse to social media. I really believe there is some good to it, or to the internet, I should say.
For social media.
You got anything else to say about this Duggan thing, or
I don't know enough about it.
I just explained it to you?
Like I mean, cheated. Like it's not illegal to cheat on your wife, is it?
No, it's not.
Oh, see, so
I think Clinton was almost impeached for it. Was he
No,
impeached or not? Like,
he was impeached for lying.
Right.
I think he was impeached by Congress, but not by the Senate. So
Yeah,
you have to be. I think you have to be impeached by both.
Okay, so that's what was going on.
So he was impeached for lying, and he was under oath.
Okay.
So, like perjury.
All right, so we got listen, I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen any new movies. I've been working, so we'll get to that next episode. We got the hip hop corner.
Wait, do you know anything about the Mark Lamont Hill situation?
What happened? Oh, what happened to Mark?
He went to the UN. He made a speech about Israel and Palestine, and he was basically stating that Palestine needs to be a free state, and he got fired from CNN for that.
Oh, man. I hate to see a brother lose money. I like Mark. Mark is cool. I like Mark.
And then they're saying, like, there's a board member at his college that's saying that he should be fired, but he has tenure, which basically means that he's employed at the college for as long as he wants to be employed.
Right.
Unless that department dissolves, he will always have a job.
Where is he professor at again?
Temple University.
Temple University, okay.
So he's a tenured professor there. So and it has to be like you have to be like a criminal,
right,
in order to be fired from a university if you're tenured. So
I don't want to get away from this, but Lou Anna Simon is under fire now. She's under fire for people are still kind of pointing fingers at her about the whole Larry Nassar situation.
She should be.
Yeah.
If there's evidence pointing to the fact that she knew and she didn't do anything,
that needs to be answered too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Mark Lamont Hill is a very he's a rounded correspondent because he hosts the Basketball Wives reunion specials.
Yes.
It's a nice.
Well, I don't watch that type. I do watch reality shows. I watch
the reunions.
I don't watch those types of reality shows because you can be subject to lose your own reality.
Of course.
In those type of shows, and they're not reality shows. These shows are scripted.
They are.
They just cost less than scripted, traditionally scripted shows. So I had to cut myself off from that a long time ago. But he's an activist, but I feel like you built yourself up. Black people built you. You're an academic professor off of Black studies. You wrote a book called Nobody, basically detailing your own trauma as it relates to being Black and seeing all of these police shootings and then really nothing being done about it. When you go to the UN stage, I need you to stand up for us. I need you to speak on our issues. He kind of related it back to our issues for 1 second. He was saying that there are New York cops that go to Israel to get training. I don't know how true that is. And he was saying that kind of police state in Palestine and then in the United States, they're kind of similar, and that our solidarity needs to be in more than words. I agree with everything he said. I just feel like when you're on a UN stage and you're a Black and Black people built you, you need to speak on our issues. Mass incarceration is a global catastrophe.
Definitely.
It's a global catastrophe. There are more Black men locked up than all the women in the world that are locked up. There's 4 billion women on the planet. I
think in this case, you're absolutely right. But I feel like with certain things, and I know you and I have had different words about this, but I feel like with Obama, I still got the split view that, he's not just president of Black people. he's president of everybody in the United States, and I know a lot of people put him under fire. I've been guilty of it too, like of not speaking to black issues like singularly in certain instances, and yeah, I've criticized him for it too. But in an instance like this, where it's Mark Lamont Hill, I agree.
But what Obama, black people didn't build Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Obama was built off his whiteness. So that's a whole nother podcast.
It is, and we've been meaning to make that episode,
Yes.
but we never did it.
That's a whole different podcast. But black people didn't
we've always
build
talked about it,
Obama.
though.
Like he did the whole thing where you go to a low income area,
Right.
and then you build yourself up off of there. A lot of people do that. A lot of people that don't have the grades to get in a master, to get into a graduate school, they go to Teach for America, or they do the whole community organizer thing for a couple of years, and then they put that on their resume in order to get into graduate school.
You got to play the game.
But at the expense of poor people.
It's unfair that the game exists, but
At the expense of poor people, because for Teach for America, you only have to teach for 2 years, and studies show that you hit your stride as a teacher after 5.
Mhm.
So they're doing it at the expense. And then Teach for America, they put you in low-income areas or areas where students don't do well. So
Right.
you're building yourself up at the expense of poor people, people who can't get that same opportunity.
no, I definitely hear you. Do you think Mark should have been fired? I don't think he should have been fired.
It was definitely not a fireable offense. Like I
Right.
said, I agree with everything that he said. I just feel like if you're going to take the UN stage and we built you, then you need to speak to our issues. Now, if he got fired and he spoke to our issues, then this would be a different conversation.
Mhm.
But you're speaking to it. And my thing is this, like black activists, black politicians, we don't have enough laser, like our focus is everywhere.
Right.
We're standing and blocking everybody's stuff, and then our stuff gets put to the wayside. Like a lot of black politicians, they have stuff going on in their own districts
Mhm.
that need to be taken care of. High poverty. This one lady in her district, she was talking about immigration, but the black people in her district have hookworms. Hookworms is a 19th century disease
Mhm.
because of no septic system. There are people in this country that don't have. That's a state issue. That's the government issue. The government should be putting in septic systems into these neighborhoods, and they're not. So people are using the bathroom and then just going out their house and into their front of their backyard.
I think it's hard to focus on everything though. Even like, because when you focus on things that's happening in your hood, in your state, okay, you focus on that, and then someone says, "All right, but this is a bigger issue too. What's happening in your state is bad too. But what do you have to say about this? Then what do you have to say about this?"
You can be like, I don't have a comment because that doesn't affect the people in my district.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to comment on everything. Like, we are the only people that have to comment and then stand at the gate in front of everybody and block all the bullets for everyone.
I think some people want to be world peace leaders. And
That's fine. But we have to solve we have a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
And we need.
It's hard being an activist.
It is very hard, but we need someone that's going to speak to our issues and not stray from that.
I know one thing Angela Davis always had focused on was the prison reform.
Yes.
And that leads into Meek Mill. All right, but one thing before we go into the hip hop corner, I gotta ask you, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's under fire now.
Yeah, I saw, but I did not read the details. So
there are sexual harassment allegations. I don't really have all the details either, to be honest with you, but I want to talk about it. And where he gave a statement saying, "Hey, I will be very open to the investigation. Whenever investigation happens of this, I say I am innocent, but I will be very open to investigation." Kind of like what Al Franken said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it's like the statement he kind of gave, he used the word whom a lot and kind of spoke in kind of like third person, saying like, situations like this, sometimes I'm paraphrasing here, guilty until proven innocent. Sometimes you gain, when the victim accuses you of something, the alleged victim, and then you got a chance to speak, it's always kind of like the victim that gets believed more.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought what he said was slick. I thought it was slick. He knows how to present himself in the press. We'll see what comes of this.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know much about the guy, to be honest. I never watched Cosmos. I know of him. I just never
I know that he's very smart.
Yeah, I never paid attention to the argument between him and B.O.B. Like, I just where.
Are you familiar with the Kareem Hunt situation?
No.
Okay, Kareem Hunt is he was a NFL player. He was recently released from his team. Back in February, he got into an altercation with a female.
Okay, I heard about this in the barbershop.
And then he told the NFL about it. So, and they still kept him. But now that the video has come out, they have released him because they're saying that he lied about the situation.
That's some James Gunn BS.
But allegedly, they met at a bar.
Okay.
And then they went back to the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
It's a group of people.
Right.
So they found out that she was underage, 19 years old. So I'm not sure if she left on her own, if she was physically removed, but somehow she was put out of the room. So allegedly, she was beating on the door for a half hour, calling him a nigger.
Right.
And then eventually he came out. They argued, shoving match. She fell on the floor and he kicked her. Now, a lot of people are saying that, like, you should be smart enough to avoid these type of situations.
Of course.
You should be able to restrain yourself and not do that type of thing. But my thing is, do you respect the femininity of a woman when she disrespects your humanity?
Me personally?
You personally, and just generally speaking.
I do. I learned how to walk away. It's a hard thing to do, but you gotta know when to walk away.
Yeah, and he lost everything. Like, you lost everything. And now, like, in his interviews, he's taking responsibility for everything. And I believe he does want to work again. I'm not sure if it'll happen.
Right.
Because it hasn't happened for Ray Rice. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we will see. I feel like in situations like that, you got to walk away. It's hard to really use your brain in high tense situations. I've learned that.
And then also, this is a football player.
Yeah.
You're violent 7 days a week.
Right.
With practice, games.
I hate it when you don't stand. Well, corporations, they're not going to stand by for one person. It just never happens. Even if it's the CEO. James Gunn, who made Guardians of the Galaxy, when those tweets came out in his trolling days, Disney knew about it, but now that it's been brought to the forefront, you know what, we're going to let James Gunn go. It's like, but y'all already knew about it.
So he should not have been hired in the first place.
Right.
And then
or if you let it go in the first place, stand by him.
Yeah.
If he's man enough to say, yo, I was a stupid troll, I'm sorry, I got to let y'all know about this, that I did this in the past, and y'all say, okay, sure, no problem. Then it's a problem later on when it gets brought to the forefront. And now they're taking away the Netflix shows, man. They're taking away Daredevil, Jessica Jones.
Is it a cancellation or is it that they're moving because, Disney is going to start their own streaming service?
That's what I'm saying.
So is it a cancellation or is it something that's going to be eventually moved to Disney's own streaming service?
Conspiracy theory time. I think Disney is taking the Netflix shows. Punisher's next. I'm telling you, they're taking this stuff.
That's what I think that it is. I don't think that it's Netflix canceling the shows. It's Disney. It's like, okay. Because
can't have them no more.
Daredevil is a very good show. It does very well on Netflix.
Yeah.
So I don't see the justification in them canceling it on their end. But the contract is ending soon between Netflix and Disney. And I believe Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to be the last movie.
Listen, I don't know how much the algorithm benefits Daredevil, but I'm sure the algorithm would say Daredevil is successful. It's kept Dear White People and some other shows along a while. It's kept Dear White People, Orange is the New Black, House of Cards around this long. It should keep Daredevil this long. So that's what I'm taking.
Did you attempt to watch the new season of House of Cards?
No. I like Robin Wright. I do think she's a fine actress.
She's an excellent actress.
She is. And I know she directed 1 or 2 episodes. It's just that after I saw the reviews, it's like, nothing changed. Nothing's changed. I mean, Claire is interesting, but, nothing's changed. So I'm like, all right, I ain't going to give it a chance. That's 7 hours of my time.
More than that.
I thought it was a short season.
What
All right,
is it?
hold on. We gotta get focused. All right, so hip hop corner.
Okay, Meek Mill.
Okay, so Meek Mill has a new album out. He's come back. He made it all the way to Ellen,
Yes, I saw he was on Ellen.
talking about prison reform, wasn't he?
Yes. But my thing
That's
is
great,
we
man.
have to watch these terms when we talk about prison reform, because what do you mean by prison reform? Do you mean reforming of sentencing laws?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean we're not going to lock you up, but we're going to put an anklet, or you're going to put a anklet on you that you have to pay $40 a day for, even though you can't work? You know, like, what are we going to turn you? Are we going to turn your phone into a parole officer? What do you? We need to, like, prison reform is a very vague term. So,
It is vague, and you do have to be.
we do. If you're going to advocate for that, we have to be more specific about what it is that we mean by that.
Definitely so. Do you think Meek is at least a good representative of talking about reform?
I believe that he is probably the best because he's been to prison.
Right.
And he has had encounters with law enforcement. He will be better than, to me, a Michelle Alexander, who's a lawyer, because she's never been locked up.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's encountered people, and then she's went home. And Meek has encountered people that he's had to cohabitate with.
Right.
So I feel like he's a better representative than her or I or anybody that hasn't been locked up.
Yeah, but I mean, looking at it, like, to make it to a show like Ellen, like, I was like, you know what, I'm proud of Meek. I'm very proud of him.
And then how many rappers get locked up and then they get out
and still winning.
They're still winning, but how many of them get out and then they talk about prison reform? How many of them get out and then they're just trying to ride the wave of I've been locked up?
Yeah, not many.
So
that's why, I am pushing for him.
Yeah, I'm definitely, and I enjoy, like, I'm not a Meek Mill fan.
So championships, yeah, let's talk about championships.
I'm not a Meek Mill fan at all. He does have a couple of singles that I enjoy, but as far as albums, I just could never get into them. But I thoroughly enjoy championships.
Yeah, I know. I saw the text, the Can We Talk group chat. She's like, yo, this championship is superb. So I had to clarify. I'm like, wait, Shayna. You mean superb by Meek standards or superb album? You was like, by Meek standards.
He still hasn't changed his flow. He's still yelling.
Right.
But I enjoy. A lot of people are critiquing the What's Beef sample. A lot of people don't feel like he's a worthy enough rapper.
Oh, man, everybody raps over classic instrumentals, even if they're whack. Everybody does that.
But I feel like Meek, Ross, and Jay-Z did the beat justice.
Okay, before we get into Jay-Z, me with Meek Mill, I've always liked, like you, certain songs, certain singles. I've liked the Dreams and Nightmares intro. I like the Dream Chasers intro. I like his remix of Ready or Not by the Fugees. I thought that was a pretty good remix, and I like a song with him and Swiss Beats called Philadelphia. So I've always liked him. I've always noticed the talent. So there's a song on there with Rick Ross and Jay-Z, and everybody's talking about Jay-Z's verse.
Yes.
Tell me your response to it. I haven't heard the song.
My initial response was, oh my God, like, is he bragging about gentrification?
I saw your
but
Facebook.
I was corrected.
Yeah.
But I left it up because I feel like it's important to be wrong and publicly and be corrected publicly.
Hey, man, clap for that, man.
So I left it up so that people could see that. And not because I see too many times on social media somebody will be wrong and then they'll drag it out about how they're not wrong. Like, you're wrong.
Even Shayna can be wrong sometimes.
I mean, I can be wrong all the time, but I left it up because I think it's I could have deleted it, like, oh, I was wrong, delete. But I was checked in a respectful manner, and then I was like, you know what, you right in a respectful manner, so I left that status up. So my initial reaction to Jay-Z's verse was like, is he bragging about gentrification? Like, oh my God, this is I never want to be that rich. But then I re-listened to it. I mean, it's a very dope song. Rick Ross dropped the F-bomb.
Faggot?
Yes.
All right.
Dropped the F-bomb on there.
Okay.
So
Eminem did it too, didn't he?
In the 11-minute freestyle?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But yeah, a lot of people are speculating that he was throwing shots at Tekashi 6ix9ine in his verse.
Okay.
And then a lot of people speculated that Jay-Z was throwing shots at Kanye in his verse, but he clarified on Twitter.
See, I had a barbershop incident. My man, my barber, probably the only person I trust with my head. He was talking to me. He's a big Sean Carter fan. We was talking about the Jay-Z verse. I told him, man, I ain't heard it yet, but you know that Jay-Z verse, you know, he was like, oh man, Sean Carter, there ain't nobody in his level in the industry that's talking about what he talking about. I'm like, all right, sure. You know, like, and so I'm at one point, I'm like, hey man, didn't he go at Ye at one point in the verse? Like, I wasn't like mad about it. I was like, oh, didn't he say something about Ye? He said, no, you misinterpreted. He was like, don't red hat me, don't Prince and Michael, me and Ye, especially when you're not a Prince and Michael DNA or something like that.
Yes.
And then I kind of misinterpreted. I'm like, oh, well, you know what? He's like, don't put us against each other. I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, that's what. He clarified that on Twitter, which is just.
But I felt like that was a learning thing for me too, because I was like, I don't want to be part of the sheep. You never do want to be a part of the sheep that say, oh man, he went at Kanye. But then I thought about, I'm like, hold up, man, do the research yourself.
But this goes to a larger issue.
Go ahead.
Can you still be friends with somebody that you disagree with like politically? Because, you know, Jay-Z's a big Obama supporter. He campaigned for Hillary. Meanwhile, Kanye is a big Trump supporter.
I do think race ties into an issue. When it's like when you're both minorities, when you're both like of a certain kind of race, if that's like your brother, like you and I disagree all the time about certain stuff.
All the time.
Right. Today we're not even disagreeing. That's like, hey, let's ring the bell for that. So I mean,
we're
like,
agreeing about disagreeing.
Right. But that's like if that's your brother, like Jay-Z built Kanye up. Like, I don't think it's that hard for him to turn against him. That's his brother. I understand.
Okay.
That's how I look at it. What do? You feel different or?
No, like I don't feel. I feel like I agree with you exactly. Like it does. Like race does play a factor in that, like tremendously. So, and then like you said, like these people are connected.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're connected through music, and in probably more ways than that. So
I'm sure they're probably each other kids' uncles. Like I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I know Drake and Meek reunited. How was that song?
I enjoyed the song. My favorite song on there right now, because sometimes my favorite song on the album changes. My favorite song on there is the song with Cardi B. I know she has a ghostwriter, but like her delivery is so like I love it.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah. I mean, the delivery does count. The flow does count.
I know she has a ghostwriter, but
yeah, like I mean, for a minute I didn't get into Cardi B, but my girl played her around me so much, I was like, all right, she's passable. If I hear her on a song, I ain't gonna skip. I'm like, okay, she's passable. I can listen to her, cause all I see in my head is love and hip hop, cause I do know her from that. But I'm like, okay, she made it.
I didn't watch it. And then I don't follow celebrities on social media.
Right.
So I didn't know anything about Cardi B outside of music.
When you're exposed to something for so long, you just get used to it. So all right. So it was a happy reunion. I'm glad these guys made up and moved forward. I'm glad Meek is still winning, actually.
Yes. Yes, because after those two back-to-back Drake disses, we counted them out.
It wasn't just that. It was that. It was the footage of him falling down in the snow.
But he put that footage out himself. He did not have to put that footage out.
Yeah.
I think he was laughing at himself.
Yeah, but keep that to yourself, though.
I thought he was being a good sport about it.
No, I understand. But if somebody else puts it out and then you kind of like, some people fall, then that's different. But when you put it out, it's like, kind of gave yourself the own L.
He was going to his mother's house and it was icy and he fell.
No, it happens. It's just
you
isn't
went
documented.
To state.
It just isn't documented.
You went to Michigan State.
I'm not a celebrity, though.
A school that has 3 snow days through their entire history of being open.
You know what, though? I'm not a celebrity. I didn't just lose to a back-to-back diss song, and I'm not taking a bunch of L's
I remember
at the moment.
one year, like, it was so icy outside. You know, Olin, they were like at that time, they were like the only place that had heated sidewalks.
Yeah.
So it was so icy. And then, like, the first couple people that fell, it was like, ha. But after like the fifth or sixth person, it's like it's not funny anymore.
Listen, man, I saw somebody trying to ride their bike on an icy sidewalk, and I couldn't say anything. I just stared at them. And when they fell, I tried to hide my face laughing, but I'm like, dog, you should know better.
I never got that whole riding your bike in the wintertime. I get riding your bike because
It's
Michigan
faster.
State is a beautiful campus.
It's all connected.
It's a beautiful campus. You can't ride your bike in the fall because the sidewalks are so crowded. But when I took summer classes and I lived in a apartment complex not too far from campus, I would ride my bike. Michigan State is beautiful.
It is
It's
beautiful.
so beautiful. Like, I get that. You miss a lot walking, like, and then being on your headphones and then being on your phone listening to music. Like, when you ride your bike, you can, but I would advise you not to do that because, like with cars and all that
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Well, I always stay on the sidewalk. We're not supposed to, but I
Yeah.
always stay on the sidewalk.
So, like, so I get riding your bike, but not in the wintertime.
Hey, man, so anyway, just in summation, I'm glad Meek Mill is still winning. I'm glad he's doing good. So, Big Crit, he dropped another EP.
Was that an EP or a single? Because it was the 2 songs.
It was 2 songs. Well, it's technically a single. It's called Double Down.
Mm-hmm.
I like this a whole lot better than I did Thrice. Because I feel like 2 songs are good. Learn from Texas and Pick Yourself Up. Learn from Texas is probably like the
That's
better
my favorite.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives a shout out to UGK. And he's got a few pop-up shops opening up a lot of places. So Big Crit, I think this was like better. What do you think?
I did enjoy this one more than the other EP, but I just think it's funny. Like, my coworker was telling me because he was like, "You don't like Big Crit." I'm like, "I love Big Crit." He's like,
Why would he say that?
Because he said, "You don't like Big Crit. You miss Pimp C." But I think he's
Conspiracy theory.
but I do love Pimp C. Like, I do love Pimp C. I grew up with UGK, and I feel like even though they like sound alike, kind of, Big Crit is a better rapper than Pimp C. Pimp C is just mostly charisma.
Yeah.
More some charisma and production because he is a producer. He's a great producer. He was a great producer, but he's more of like charisma than he was skill.
Pimp C will say some lines that today you'll probably say pause 1,000 times, but the way he carried it with enough swag and charisma, you give him a pass because it's Pimp C.
And he made Big Pimpin'.
Right.
He did not have what we would
I
consider
really like Jay's verse on that song.
He did not have what we consider like lyrically the best verse because I always felt like Bam B was a superior rapper in UGK, but he had the most enjoyable verse.
Right.
So yeah, but I do miss Pimp C, but I also love Big Crit. You can do both.
Yeah, I feel like listening to Thrice a bit more. I like Glorious a little bit more now. That song grew on me. Look What I Got is kind of like the low-key chill Big Crit. That's not my favorite Big Crit, but it's still enjoyable. Okay, before we get to Tekashi, Black Thought. Listen.
It went under the radar because like everything came out. Trey Songz released not a double album. His birthday is November 28th, so he released a project called 11 and then another one called 28.
Okay.
I could not. I mean, I'm over Trey Songz, but I attempted to listen, but the volume 2 of Black Thought, it kind of went under the radar for me. So you can talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get it because I want to tag on to what you said about Trey Songz. That's how I feel about Lil Wayne nowadays. I mean, because that used to be my boy, man. You know what I mean?
Man, when I tell you when like Trey Songz, like maybe his first album to me was like his best album. It was more like a traditional, what you consider like a traditional.
I Gotta
R&B.
Make It?
Yeah, Just Gotta Make It.
Okay.
Yeah, he had Aretha Franklin on the intro.
Really?
It's like, but to me, it's like one of his best albums. But there are a lot of songs on there where he sound like other artists. My niece was like maybe 11 at the time, so I was listening to her, and she was like, "That song sounds like Genuine. That song sounds like R. Kelly." I'm like, "You're exactly right. Like he hasn't found his voice, but I feel like on Trey Day,
It was the beginning.
he definitely found his voice on Trey Day."
Is that the one with the Scarface? Let Me Hold You Tight or something like that?
I don't know,
Where they sampled Luther Vandross. Hold up, we gotta stay on topic.
but
All right.
yeah, but I feel like he found his voice on that one, and then once he found his voice, he used that formula for every album.
and didn't
After
really.
that, like,
I mean,
it was like, I'm over it.
I mean, if it works, it works. But okay, Streams of Thought Volume 2. Volume
Okay.
1 was produced entirely by Ninth Wonder.
Yes,
You've heard
sir.
that by now, right?
Yes.
Great EP. This one is like a little bit more 9 tracks, and it's produced by Solemn Remy. Yeah, man. I mean, it's Black Thought. He's killing it. The beats are great. I feel like when I listen to Black Thought, it's like Bill Cosby listening to jazz. You just like shake your head. Just the lyricism is just punching and punching and punching. We've heard the Funk Flex freestyle. Black Thought is a beast.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just straight fire. It's like I was at my second job doing chats, and somebody came up to me, seeing me shake my head, like, "You got an angry customer?" I'm like, "I'm reacting to these angry beats." What you talking about? But yeah, Black Thought is great. I really think you should check it out. But then again, every Roots album is a Black Thought album,
Yes.
which is what I say.
Yes. It's
Everybody's
just
like, "You need something solo." I'm like, he's not solo,
solo.
but yeah. You need to listen to Currency and Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist.
okay.
It's called
Alchemist.
Yeah, he's the producer.
Okay.
The album is called Fetty. I suggest you check it out because it's
Okay.
great. Okay, so Black Thought's album was good. So we got to talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised by this. So
What?
what's the stakes on this?
You're surprised?
This is 25 to life?
You're surprised. Like, why are you surprised?
I thought the kid was just a troll. I didn't know he was really trying to be about that life. I don't know much about Tekashi
He was being
6ix9ine.
extorted.
All I know is that he has colored teeth, and a lot of people don't like him, so I never
I
tried
don't
him
like him
out.
because he say nigga, and you're not black.
Right.
So I don't really feel like you can't. You should be able to rhyme without using that. And I just never got into him. He's definitely like a troll. I felt like he was like a provocateur. Like, you would talk to people. Like, why are you starting shit with Chief Keef? Like, what? Like, he wasn't bothering anybody. He was just chilling. And then you said something about him, and then you went to Chicago.
You could argue that, Tyler the Creator started shit with B.O.B. just to get noticed. And for a minute, it worked.
Yeah, I feel like the whole 50 Cent formula, because that's what I call it.
Yeah,
where you
How to Rob.
Yeah, how to rob. Like, where you just
Classic.
start beef with people, just various people just saying whatever you want about people in the industry. It only worked for 50 Cent. It doesn't work for everybody else. It definitely doesn't work for R&B artists, as you can see, Carrie Hilson, Jaguar Wright.
I don't like that. I don't like when R&B artists beef. Because
Like,
y'all sing.
Yeah, where you come out and you can have a valid critique of an artist as an R&B artist, and it'll still, you gotta go.
Yeah,
You'll end your career before it really takes off.
Definitely so. I mean, I am surprised. I'm like, dang, man, 25 to life? I thought the dude was just a troll.
They had to get rid. Like, he had to go because he was putting other people in danger. The video got shot up. The video shoot where Nicki Minaj was supposed to be there, she didn't go to, but the trailer where that was supposed to be her dressing room got shot at.
Dang. I mean,
You gotta, like, you're making the block hot for people, for squares.
it's
Like, for people that don't have anything to do with street life.
It's definitely a lesson.
You gotta go.
Yeah, it's definitely a
And
lesson.
they're saying that they arrested him because he was more valuable in jail than he was dead because there was a plot to kill him.
And now he's getting jumped in jail, and I think he just got transferred to a safer space in jail.
I mean, you can't do that. Like, you can't do all that trolling and like you're not, like you're untouched. Like the whole thing where, who'd say Chief Keef,
Right.
baby mama shopping, and was talking about all the sexual things that they did. Like, that's just disrespectful. Like, you don't have
agree.
to do that. Like, just make your music. But, like, you think you're bigger than the music and you haven't put shit out. Your album came out while you were locked up. Who listened to it? Did you listen to it?
No, I don't listen to Tekashi 6ix9ine.
See-
I'm sure his fans listen to it.
Why do you have fans?
I don't know. They must
Like,
love
are
the trolling.
they fans? Because every now and then I dabble into the shade room. I don't do it all the time. I don't follow them.
I dabble into the trolling.
But there are a lot of people that are like, they'll repost Tekashi 6ix9ine videos and they'll be like, I don't like his music, but he's funny.
Listen, I don't like Alex Jones at all. But there's an old interview between him and Piers Morgan. My mouth is just open. How him and Piers are going back and forth on gun control, and Alex Jones is like, "I'm telling you now, you take away our guns, 1776 will commence again. If you take away our guns, come be with me. Come to the gun range. I'll make you an American, and we won't deport you."
Alex Jones is like
I just sit there, my mouth open, like, what the.
It's like peak tinfoil hat, like.
Dog, this is on CNN though. Like, so I understand the whole engaging with the trolls. I understand the.
I feel like you should not engage with trolls because you
indulge.
What word am I looking for?
You give them light.
You give them relevance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you solidify them. Piers Morgan is a journalist. I don't agree with him.
Yeah.
The majority of the time, but you're a journalist.
He's more professional than Alex.
Yeah, so you should not give this person a platform because I remember Charlamagne got into a lot of heat because he had plans on having Tommy Lauren, but Tommy Lauren is a troll.
Yeah,
she's a troll with blonde hair, but she's a troll nonetheless.
She made it though. She on Fox. She made it.
She's a troll, but that's where you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be on the show with Charlamagne.
That would have been interesting, but it probably wouldn't have amounted to anything.
No.
To be honest, I don't think it would have been forgettable. All right, so we got a little bit of time left. Oh, Eminem. So how was this freestyle? I know Slim still got it. He's always had it.
It was shot at a place near and dear to our hearts.
St. Andrews Hall, the shelter in the basement.
So, kudos for that.
I think that's where 8 Mile was shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, the shelter.
Yeah, the battle rap scenes.
Yes. It was 11 minutes, and
you lost interest.
I listened to the whole thing. There was a couple of lines that stood out to me where he said, "I get head in the sand like an embarrassed ostrich."
He's from that era, man. He's from that era. You gotta let that slide. I mean,
what?
Eminem is an old head. He is an old head. He's from that era.
But there were a lot of breaks in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, is it a straight 11-minute freestyle? Because there were some parts that went dark like a movie, and then it came back, and he was rhyming. Like, I'm like, is it an 11-minute?
Let me check my phone real quick.
Like, right, like, is it an 11-minute freestyle? Like, for real, or so? Yeah.
I mean, look, I've always respected Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
He's always had it to me. I know this last album, Kamikaze, was better than Revival, so he's always had
definitely. I agree with that.
He's always had touch and go with like his albums post relapse or post encore. Like one is good, the next one isn't, then the one is better because it's commenting on how the last one was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Recovery was apologizing for relapse. Kamikaze was apologizing for Revival. Like, I don't know, man. Marshall, he still has it to me.
Yeah, but it wasn't like up there with like the Black Thought, like the Funk Flex.
Oh, of course,
Black
of course.
Thought freestyle where he's just going at it. Like,
you know, I'm in this weird space right now where I'm starting to feel like an old head. It feels like the artists I grew up with, like the Big Crits, the Drakes, the J. Coles, Kendrick Lamar's, the Wale's, even Kid Cudi. It's like they're old heads now in the game, and I can't keep up with a new generation.
They've been around for almost 10 years. Some of them 10 years. Because when did it take?
They still feel new to me.
When did Comeback Season come out?
2008? That was a long time ago.
So, like, what was that, 2000? So Drake has been in the game for 10 years.
He has. I was introduced to him through So Far Gone. That was the mixtape that introduced me to him.
Yes, I did. I wasn't hip to Comeback Season when it came out, but
Comeback Season was 2007. So Far Gone was 2008.
Okay, yep. So I was introduced to Drake the same way. So, and that was an excellent project.
It was. Like, I remember I played the first part of Unstoppable for, like, this project I had in high school. He didn't curse that whole verse, so I got away with it. I had to stop it when it got to Lil Wayne, though. But, yeah, man, it's like I can't get with this new generation. Like, I can't get with the Lil Boats and Lil Uzis. It's probably the only person I like out of that.
You an old nigga now.
I am, though. I am. Like, the only person I can get to in this generation is Nick Grant.
Okay.
But Nick Grant might be considered old-fashioned because he's rapping the same way as, you know.
Like a Nick Grant or maybe a Dave East.
Dave East. Well, Dave East is, well, yeah, but he's older though. I feel like he's kind of like the same
Dave
age
East
as.
is weird to me. Like you didn't go to jail until you were like older. You came up in a 2-parent home.
I feel
You
like
got a basketball scholarship.
some people like him. I never got into him.
I do like Dave East. I do. I feel like his flow, his production. You can tell that Nas, like he's on Nas's label, but you can tell that Nas is a heavy influence on him. I thoroughly enjoy him, but I just think that like it's just like you hard, but you not like
you pushing for the cred.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You can just be good.
You
like
just be
Lil
yourself.
Yachty, like I'm not into Lil Yachty, but he doesn't act like, oh, I'm hard, I'm hardcore.
Yeah, he's
Like
fun.
you can tell that he doesn't run from that he came from a privileged background.
Right. I think like someone like Lil Yachty, I don't listen to him, but he seems like a fun guy. He seems like, yeah, even with his cover, he's like giving light to everybody, like, homosexuals, albinos and stuff like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but I feel like I like the Nick Grants, the Dave East. I've heard him featured on a Prime song, which was pretty good, Era. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm an old nigga. I feel like I am.
I've been felt like that, like whenever I feel like that whenever I hear a sample. It's just like,
Yeah,
wow.
man. Like when you hear a sample, I'm like, oh man, it seems like that song premiered yesterday. But it's like, nah, bro, that song came out 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow. Like if somebody samples Nelly, I'm like, okay, that's fairly new. Kid looks at me like, that's not new. Oh, you know who else I can relate to? Travis Scott. He's of the new generation. I like Travis. I mess with Travis Scott because I remember I was at a bar and there was a woman from college who was younger than me, but we both saw each other there. She said, "Oh, you're hip to Travis?" I'm like, "I'm hip." Like, what am I old? I'm not hip. Yeah, I know Travis. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I think I've hit that age. It's sad though. Cause it's like cause I hate those posts on Facebook that like push it on you. Like, oh, did you know this happened 10 years ago? Such and such premiere.
I do that. I'm like, oh my God, Baduism came out 25 years ago.
Yeah, I can't.
Even though it's not 21 years ago, but I'm that person that when there's an album that I really like, I grew up on, that I really loved, that I thoroughly still enjoy to this day. When it hits that 20-year mark, I am posting about it.
Yeah, you should. Hey, I got a question. This came up to me in a barbershop. I think it's a serious question. Is Anderson .Paak a rapper?
No.
Okay, thank you, because that's what I said. I said, dude, have you heard Malibu? Yeah, but he's just rapping at a high vocal pitch. I'm like, that's Oxnard. That's not Malibu. He's like, I think Malibu is better, but they're two different albums.
I feel like
they're two different
there
albums.
is no box that you can put Pac in.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a musician.
He is.
Because it's very rare that you'll have somebody, especially nowadays, that sings, raps, and is also a musician. So there's really no box, and I love Pac, but there's no box that you can put him in because some songs he's rapping, like Drugs.
Yeah.
That was like the best. Like when he performed Drugs, that was like the best.
I had no idea who you were talking about, so I looked him up on Wikipedia. His genres are hip-hop, R&B, funk, and soul, but his occupation is rapper, songwriter, singer, and record producer. So
that pretty much sums up Pac.
Yeah, like he's everything.
You can be a rapper but not be in the rap genre?
I don't think, but he doesn't.
He's crossover.
Yeah, like.
Listen, I like Anderson. I love Anderson, actually.
It's no, like, but like we can. There are songs where he kind of like he does rap at a high pitch, like "Without You," the song with Rhapsody. He is kind of rapping at a high pitch.
And then there's songs like Tint, where he's mostly just singing. Mm-hmm. And the Kendrick, we got 5 minutes. It's just wrap up time. All right, wrap up time. I think Anderson .Paak is a singer that knows how to rap. All right, so this has been another episode of Can't We Talk, the Anthony and Shayna version.
Like and share and subscribe.
We're on Apple Podcasts and we're on SoundCloud. I'm trying to get the Facebook name changed, but it's unofficial. Can we talk? But it's gonna be all right. All right, see y'all.